All right, today we're going deep into the high desert of New Mexico, to a place that's just filled with silent stone and these incredible, sprawling ruins, Chaco Canyon. For centuries, this place has kept its secrets locked up tight, but we're about to peel back some of the layers on one of its biggest mysteries. You know, it's a question we've all probably asked ourselves at some point, staring up at the stars. But for the society that thrived right here in Chaco Canyon, this wasn't just some philosophical question. The answer meant power, it meant knowledge, and, it might have even meant survival.
And seriously, when you stand among these ruins, you can absolutely feel it. The atmosphere there is so much more than just history. You get this feeling, this almost eerie sense that you're being watched, that the stones themselves have a purpose that just hasn't faded with time.
Okay, so before we get to the really wild stuff, you gotta understand what we're looking at on the ground. Just imagine, over 1,000 years ago, this highly organized society building these gigantic multi-story stone structures they call great houses. The sheer scale alone tells you that this was an advanced and, frankly, a pretty powerful culture.
But this is where the story takes a huge turn. See, these aren't just impressive buildings. Researchers eventually discovered that they are precisely, and I mean precisely, aligned with the cycles of the sun and the moon. I mean, let that sink in for a second. This isn't random. It's a deliberate, incredibly complex message written in stone.
So here's the puzzle, all laid out. You got these grand monuments, which are amazing all by themselves. But when you realize their alignment with events like the solstices, well, it reveals what you can only call an obsession with the cosmos. This level of precision points to a depth of knowledge that, honestly, it still unsettles scholars today. You have to ask, why would they go to such extraordinary lengths? The stones, they give us the what. But to really get the why, we have to kind of step away from the archaeology for a minute and turn to folklore. Local legends, passed down through generations, speak of a certain kind of knowledge that was so important, so vital, it had to be fiercely protected. Now, just pause on that for a second. It wasn't just about watching the stars. It was about interpreting what those movements meant. That kind of knowledge, well, that would give the leaders immense power, right? The power to set calendars for planting, to guide religious ceremonies, to really solidify their rule. And the legends say this knowledge was kept secret, even long after these great houses were empty. So how do we possibly connect the incredible architecture to these old legends? Well, this is where researchers basically have to become detectives. They're piecing together all these scattered clues, from carvings on stone to drawings on cliffs, just trying to see if a larger pattern starts to emerge. And this whole investigative process is just fascinating. It starts with these small clues, like painstakingly deciphering petroglyphs on canyon walls and mapping out constellations drawn on cliffs. And then, slowly, a pattern starts to take shape. These aren't just doodles, they're records of ceremonial readings. And all of this leads to a powerful theory. They weren't just watching the sky for fun, they were using it to predict absolutely crucial events like eclipses and even seasonal floods. But even with a theory as compelling as that one, the full truth is still out of reach. It feels like the canyon is holding on to its deepest secrets, and it leaves us with this profound sense of wonder and a mystery that just endures. And that feeling, it shifts from just admiring this grand architecture to something more haunting. It's the eerie precision of it all, the almost perfect alignment of a window and a doorway, of a stone and the sunlight on a specific day. It speaks of a purpose that feels both incredibly intelligent and also profoundly alien to us today. And here's what's so wild about all of this. The people who built this celestial clock, the ones who had this deep, deep understanding of the cosmos, they're gone. They vanished, leaving behind these silent stone monuments as their only testament. And so we're left with this one final, echoing question. Because this wasn't a hobby for them. It was an obsession that shaped their entire society. It really makes you wonder, what was so important, so absolutely vital, that it demanded this level of devotion? What secrets did the night sky demand of them?